Taylor Stewart. We're back here with our Blue Wave panel. We have Andrew, Brooks, and Tyler. Let's get it started talking about this past weekend's games.
Well, let's start it off with last night's game, Dallas and Atlanta. Brooks, I know you suffered a loss last night.
I did. You were right. I was wrong.
You know, as I predicted, it was either going to be a blowout by the Falcons or it was going to look as if Dallas was going to win the game and then at the end they were going to lose it, which they did. But credit to Dallas's defense. They played a great game. You know, didn't allow many points that the Falcons were scoring all year. And I got to put this loss to Jason Garrett. What about you, Brooks?
I feel the same way. It's just too many ifs. I feel like
tell me about it.
Too many. It's 1 week the defense is playing well, then the offense they're not clicking together as a team. They're undisciplined. The same penalties. You guys they can't tackle and doing the basic things. So hopefully we can get this turned around and at least be a respectable team. But it's looking pretty bleak.
I'll tell you what. Has any of you noticed just every time the camera goes on Jason Garrett's face, he just always has this face of, I messed up again.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
you know, for how we were kind of dogging on the Cowboys last week.
I mean, we have reason to.
For considering who they were playing, okay, they were playing a 7-0 Falcons team.
Yeah.
For who they were playing, they didn't seem that bad. They kind of got burned on defense. I noticed one player in particular.
Michael Turner.
But I don't know if he's going to have a job much longer. That was pretty bad. But as a whole, I think that they did better than I expected them to.
Well, that's the whole thing about the Cowboys. You know, they have the talent to win a whole bunch of their games, but they lose.
They have so much potential.
So much.
So much potential.
Jason Witten last night passed the team's franchise records for receptions. He's a beast. Des Bryant, he's a beast. Miles Austin, he's a beast. Tony Romo.
Des Bryant isn't a beast.
Des Bryant is a beast.
He's inconsistent. He keeps on dropping the ball when he needs to make big plays.
I do agree with you on that.
That Baltimore game, he dropped a two-point conversion that would have tied the game.
Yeah. No, he definitely did drop that one. But at the same time, he caught the touchdown that was before that. And he is just like kind of like the team in general. He's teeter-totter.
I agree.
Now let's talk about a game that we kind of all mispredicted. That's the Colts versus the Dolphins. We all said that we thought Miami was going to take it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
No, you know, Andrew Luck is playing really good right now. You know, they're 5-3, and who would have predicted that? And, you know, a lot of the media attention has been on Robert Griffin III as far as rookie quarterbacks. They have 3 wins. Andrew Luck has 5 wins.
I think RG3 and the Redskins get more attention, but he's kind of like slowly, quietly sneaking his way in, and all of a sudden now they're 5-3, and they're looking really good.
Yeah, Andrew Luck actually has 4 passing games over 300 yards, tying Peyton Manning for a rookie record. He's looking really crisp out there. He overthrew over 400 yards against a really good Miami Dolphins defense.
The defense wasn't looking so good yesterday.
No, they weren't. They were looking pretty suspect. But I think going forward, Luck has a better team than the Redskins.
Yeah.
So he has the opportunity to make more of a splash, I feel like. Maybe make it to the playoffs if they get crazy.
No. Yeah, I mean, they won the game by 3 points, and the Miami played a good game. I mean, Tannehill played a good game, but, you know, defense kind of just got picked apart. Got picked apart by the rookie.
Also, they had their coach come in and do a little pregame speech, and I mean, I really believe in motivation. When you got a coach that you've been missing out all year and comes in to get the guys up before the game, and then you're at home, I just can't mess with that.
And with Reggie Wayne, very reliable receiver. Luck has an easy target to throw to consistently.
Consistently good. Always making the big play.
Now, even though Miami didn't win, Reggie Bush seemed to have a good game yesterday.
Yeah,
and
he's
I
been having
think
good games all
that
year.
had a huge role in how Miami was able to keep up with them.
Yeah.
And really, they lost by 3, so it wasn't a blowout. It was a pretty
No,
close
not by
game.
any means. Not by any means. No.
And another game we talked about was the Cam Newton versus Robert Griffin III rivalry, and
we all missed out on that one again. Boy, we were wrong. We'd get fired if we worked for ESPN.
You know what? I think a lot of people actually picked Washington.
Yeah.
It was a little 50-50 on that.
Can you blame them?
No. There was a couple plays in the game that kind of made me scratch my head, like the one where D'Angelo Williams was turning the corner, and if you listen, someone blew a whistle, but nobody went for the tackle, so he just walked in. And I guess we found out yesterday that Washington's line just cannot block.
Cam Newton finally came along.
Defense isn't that great either. I
Right.
mean, you've seen it all year. They cannot shut down the pass, and Cam Newton was
Tell
able
me about
to
it.
throw a couple completions to win the game.
The Panthers kind of needed this win, though. I feel like their
yeah.
back was kind of up
Yeah,
against the wall. and
Cam
that-
Newton came out swinging, I feel
Yeah,
like.
I feel like he really had something to prove, especially how the past weeks have been going for him. So I think that had something to do with it. But let's look forward to this week's upcoming games. We have some great rivalries. We have Atlanta versus the Texans. What are you guys thinking about that one?
Well, actually, let me correct you real quick. It is the Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. And these are two one-loss teams going at it. All right, this is going to be a show. I don't know how this is not the night game, but, I mean, this is going to be a
It's Sunday
showdown.
night.
It is. It's
Oh, it is a Sunday night game?
game.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. We had 2 mistakes in a row. Dang. Strike 3, we're off this thing. But, you know, it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be a hell of a game if – do any of you know where it's at? Is it at Chicago or at Houston?
I think it's at Chicago.
If it's at Chicago?
I think it's in Soldier Field.
You know, the teams are pretty evenly matched here. I'm going to have to go with Chicago, though, just because they're at home. What about you guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the other way just because I like Houston's defense. Chicago's a very impressive defense, so let's not sleep on them.
Yeah.
But I really like Houston's all-around game. I love Arian Foster. I feel like they can open it up. They have a couple weapons with Andre Johnson and their tight end Owen Daniels. So I feel like Wade Phillips with that coaching that defense. I think they're gonna eke one out. And they're slightly better. I can't trust Jay Cutler. He's on my fantasy team, and he's let me down so many times.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean, and Jay Cutler, he gets easily frustrated.
easily.
Easily. J.J. Watt gets on him a couple times, man. It could be a long night, but I'm still sticking with my pick with the Bears.
With Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall back together this year, it seems like they've never lost a beat. When you look at last week's this last game, they had three touchdowns between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah, Brandon Marshall should, he had a record or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears because their defense is playing outstanding. They've only allowed 7 total touchdowns on defense, and they've scored 8 touchdowns between defense and special teams. So if you can do that, you can win some football games.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Bears, too. I feel like the Texans are great, but something's telling me that the home field advantage, I just think it's going to be the Bears. Now, another one, we have Eagles versus the Cowboys. Now, both of these teams haven't really been living up to their potential. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia. Just because we have time and time again seen this season with the Cowboys, and this isn't like last week where I was saying on the show that, oh yeah, Cowboys are definitely going to lose. They could win this game, and I could easily have my pick, reversed or whatever, but I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia just because I have a feeling that Philadelphia is they're more together, believe it or not. As much of a mess they're in, they're more together than the Cowboys. What about you guys?
I can't do it. I'm still sticking with my Cowboys. It's going to be a tough game, NFC East battle. It always is a good one. It's going to be in, I think it's in Philly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really tough. The fans there are really classy, as we all know. So let's keep it classy, Philly. But the thing that scares me is that Philly can always bust out. I really feel
exactly.
You never know when it's going to happen. So if Mike Vick can keep the turnovers down, and Shady McCoy, the Eagles will win. But I'm going to go with my heart here, even though it's broken me so many times. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
I got to go Cowboys in this. I feel like the Eagles, they have a good team, but the problem is they have so many good players on the secondary, but they have not played well this season. And Michael Vick is so inconsistent. I feel like Tony Romo, if he has the time to throw against this Eagles, he would be able to light them up, and the turnovers Michael Vick does. And also, I think Andy Reid does not call a very good game for this Eagles offense. They should run the ball more than they are. Vick averages the most pass attempts in the league, I believe, this season. So, especially with Sean McCoy in your backfield, I mean, got to figure running the ball helps balance the team and helps you win. So I'm going Cowboys.
What do you think?
Okay, well, being an Eagles fan, of course I'm going to go with Eagles, but I just don't think, for one, it's in Philly, okay? Get ready, Cowboys, because the fans are going to have their batteries.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to be throwing This is a big rivalry.
Oh,
I mean, we both know, because we're Cowboys and Eagles fans, that we do not like each other.
Yeah.
And so this is a big game for them. I think both the teams are very similar in that they have talented players. They're just not able to get wins.
They are very similar.
And so I really think it's going to come down to who's more pumped up about it. I think Andy Reid really, really, really needs this win. And I think Michael Vick, he got benched. He's looking to come back and come back strong. And I just think the Eagles are going to be able to pull it out and hopefully turn the season around and at least finish with a respectable record.
One player I want to talk about for Dallas real quick, though, and watching the game against Atlanta is DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware is just proven and proven again that he is just the man. And even though I'm predicting that the Eagles are going to win, I predict DeMarcus Ware is going to rough up Michael Vick because Michael Vick's already been fragile this season, And the thing is, they're so similar, like you were saying, Taylor. These two teams, all right, let's talk about the similarities. Both their quarterbacks turn the ball over a lot. Both teams have a whole bunch of talent. They should be winning games, but they don't. Both coaches are kind of on the hot seat, more so on Jason Garrett's side.
And both quarterbacks, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Michael Vick, I believe, will always have a job.
Well,
not starting, but he'll always have a job. I mean, Tony Romo may just, get cut. But I'm sticking with my pick. I think the Eagles will win. Another great game that's going to be happening this weekend is a real NFC North just showdown in the snow. It's going to be Minnesota and Detroit. All right, this battle for second place in the NFC North, who is really looking like a pretty tough division right now in football. Where you got the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. And Adrian Peterson was running the ball great this past weekend against Seattle, even though they lost. And I don't know. What do you guys think about this game?
I'm going to go with Detroit. I just think Detroit can get down and dirty. I think they have a lot of heart. I'm going to go with Detroit. I think
I'm going to go Minnesota. They have a very good defense in this league, and they can run the ball with Adrian Peterson. It looks like no one knows how to stop him.
I agree.
And Christian Ponder is not a great quarterback like Matt Stafford, but
he's been doing good.
He can make the throws, and Detroit doesn't have a defense. All they have is Ndamukong Suh. Their secondary's deployed.
Yeah.
I think they're just a team that can air it out and shut down Calvin Johnson. You can beat this Lions team.
I'm going to go with the home team, everybody. I like Minnesota. AP is looking like AD all day, 182 yards yesterday. I mean, he looked really good after the knee injury. And Christian Ponder, I feel like he's the quarterback that's just he's a game manager. He's not going to, blow you out of the water. But if he doesn't turn the ball over, right, if he doesn't turn the ball over and they play great defense and run the ball, it's a recipe to win the game. So, I mean, besides the Tampa loss at home, I really like Minnesota.
Yeah, based on everything you guys are saying, even though I kind of had this in my head already, I'm going to have to go Minnesota. I mean, Detroit's hot right now. They're coming off, a winning streak. And, yes, Minnesota's coming off a loss, but like you said, Adrian Peterson was playing great. And let's not forget, they were playing Seattle, which is a very good team, especially defensively.
In Seattle.
Yeah, and he ran that ball like that against Seattle. In Seattle, I think he's going to be tearing it up. But you just mentioned that one loss against Tampa Bay. Let's talk about Tampa Bay running back real quick. Okay, this young man had a game this past weekend. How many yards? Did he have over 200 yards?
He had 251 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Doug Martin had 251 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was franchise record.
65 yards if they didn't keep him in.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to get some fresh legs in there. Oh man, I tell you, the boy's just beasting. And Tampa Bay's not looking too bad right now.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you, Doug Martin, for giving me a win on my fantasy team.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, if you don't have Doug Martin on your fantasy team, get him on right now because the boy is hot.
Blowing up.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Blue Wave Sports Show.